Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to more Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. In the last episode, we got our introduction out of the way, but now in this episode, we're finally going to continue and talk a little bit more of how we're going to be going about how we're going to be dealing with Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories' battle system. As you can tell, that the battles are going to be a little bit random with random encounters. Well, not really random encounters, they're kind of on the field, but some enemies we're going to skip because we've already seen them, such as, this one probably right here. Well, not really, because obviously enough, the battle system is not going to be too boring in my honest opinion, but it will be a little bit monotonous in the later half of the game. So, like fights that kind of will end pretty quickly or slates that I want to showcase, I'm probably going to go ahead and probably cut those fights. So your main goal for leveling up is essentially killing enemies as usual, except the difference is that you'll be collecting these blue orbs that will basically be your level up system. And this is kind of how the level up system works. You have the ways of leveling up your HP, your CP, and you can be able to learn a new ability. I recommend always going after the new ability first. The game will tell you how you're supposed to set those up. You're supposed to have a total value of 10 to 15 and 3 attack cards of the same type. Now remember, it's the same type. It can't be it cannot be a different type. It has to be the same one. So to kind of give you like an example, most of the times you can kind of go through this game without the need of getting HP, but to be honest, I don't trust myself and all that other stuff. Since most of the enemies are going to be a little bit of a standard, you got your red nocturnes or red whatever the hell they're called. I don't really remember what they're called, and I can't be held to be calling them by their actual names. So yeah, so we'll be cutting out fights here and there, but till then, this is kind of like the second episode, because sometimes, you never know. I might end up running into some other enemies. We do got soldiers. It's funny enough, though, I don't even have to tell you what most of these enemies are, because you kind of already seen them in, Kingdom Hearts 1, so I don't have to go ahead and say what their names are. You are going to be meeting some new enemies, so be warned by that. I will be saying what those enemies are called. Obviously, we do have ourselves a journal, which will basically tell us what they're called. Another thing I should mention. Unlike in the original Kingdom Hearts game, you kinda cannot use your slates prematurely. You have to have 3 slate cards activated to really warrant anything, because it's weird. It's a weird change that I'm not really a fan of. And look at that, we got blue nocturnes or blue rhapsodies. I think these are blue rhapsodies, but yeah. Elemental attacks are going to be your bread and butter for this game, mainly because of the fact that elemental attacks does a lot of damage compared to how the original game was, where you kind of had to. You just kind of have to pray that the elemental attacks worked. But this game kind of starts with the whole trend that elemental damage will deal a lot. Since the people that we're going to be fighting are going to be a little bit more elemental based, it's kind of recommended to have their elemental weaknesses, such as ice, fire. I don't know what lightning is actually weak to. But there are going to be like some broken slights here and there. Slights, whatever. There are going to be some broken ones here, and then there are going to be some weaker ones here. All that really matters is in the end is that potions end up basically giving you your attack cards back without the need of utilizing the, I don't even know, the refresh, I guess I'm going to call it. And, we're going to be finding more items. Items don't heal you like they usually do in Kingdom Hearts 1. They usually just go ahead and give you your cards back, and that's really it. Potions give you few of your attack cards back. High Potion does a little bit more. Mega Potion does all. Elixir does both, which it does magic and attack, obviously. And then there's Mega Elixir, which does all of them. It gives you all of your cards back, because Elixir only gives you a little bit of it. This is the story progression card system right here, which you do have to go ahead and knock it out by, using a card and then using the key beginnings. So yeah, there's a lot to be able to intake, but there's also obviously ethers and mega ethers, which does the same exact thing. Now Leon here is going to teach us something, because why the hell not? Sora is also not used to the fact of fighting without his friends, which, to be honest, I don't blame him, because it is pretty annoying. Most people would skip Chain of Memories, but that would be wrong. I might skip over 358 and Recoded, mainly because of the fact I don't have the means of recording those games, which sucks. I kind of wish I did, but we'll probably get to them. But okay, here's my real major issue as to why I don't want to really do 358 and Recoded. They're not games that are good to watch in terms of LPing wise. The reason as to why I say that is mainly because of the fact that the battle system can be a little bit repetitive, and the plot does go somewhere, but not to the point where you can go ahead and just say, oh yeah, this is happening. Yeah, this is happening too. Okay, I'm having fun. All that other stuff. It's kind of like a drag of a playthrough, and it's not really that interesting to watch, in my honest opinion. Most people can go ahead and make it interesting to watch, but I can't. Look, it's Leon, guys. Leon from Final Fantasy VIII. Why aren't you on the Switch? Because they're gonna remake my game. Are they now? I'm shocked that you believe that. I wouldn't even be surprised if they actually did remake 8. I would laugh if they remake 8 before they remake 7. Wouldn't even be surprised, to be honest, considering Leon never helped us fight the Heartless Sora. What the hell are you talking about? He never did anything. Like, the only thing he did was kick a soldier out of a window, and then that's it. Like, I mean, if you count that as him helping us, then holy crap, your priority sucks. Another thing I should mention about Chain of Memories is that you don't get plot significant dialogue unless you're going through world to world. The reason for that is because all the worlds that you're going to be visiting after this one and a few of the other worlds, every Disney world you're going to be visiting are going to be very, very abridged. Abridged to the point that I'm probably going to be ignoring the friggin' plot of the game. Well, the plot of the worlds, I should say, but the plot of the game is a whole little can of worms. But the plot in the Disney worlds, not so much. The plot in the Disney worlds, I'm not going to really pay much attention to because I don't care. I never paid attention to them in the Game Boy Advance version. Why the hell would I pay attention to them now? Yeah, you're going to be getting a lot of this kind of back and forth. It's like, hey, do you remember me? It's like, no, I don't. It's like, oh, you don't have a memory. Oh, no. League. If I wanted to play Final Fantasy, I would be playing Final Fantasy. But I ain't playing Final Fantasy. Who cares? So now Leon's going to teach us how to use slates or slites. And there's exactly what you think. The numbers range from 0 to 9. When you're higher than your enemy, you can break them. But if you're lower than your enemy, you get broken. As you can see, Leon plays 3, does a bunch of that, and bada bing. By the way how you see in the system right now, down on the right corner, that's how most of the boss battles, that's how few of the boss battles are going to be like. Where, they have a set cards and they basically blast you with a bunch of moves here and there. Funny enough, though, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, the original one, actually had a multiplayer game, and I think the multiplayer probably played out like this. Also, Zero has the ability of breaking any sort of card, no matter what it can be. The card can have 99 and Zero can still break it no matter what. But enemies can also use 0 cards, so when you're fighting bosses, they do love to use zeros half of the time to break your slates. But there are ways of counteracting that by using an enemy skill called the Attack Bracer. We'll be getting that card later on, but that's an enemy skill and it comes from a boss. Now Leon is basically telling us how to use slates, which you press triangle and then you end up getting slide and dash. Well, we kind of have slide and dash because, you know, we managed to get it. Now, the thing about it is, though, is that you're not going to really be thinking so much about the slates, mainly because of the fact you're going to be fighting. Oh, wait. Okay, so you can use them. You just have to press L1 and R. Was it L1, R2, or L2? No, I didn't really see what it was. Every time you start cards, you lose the first card you pick. So just remember that. Don't be slate happy in this game. Because if you are slate happy, there are chances, like, you can't technically lose a fight entirely, but you might as well just reset the fight because you're gonna have a hard time in actually fighting with less cards. And there are ways where you just have 1 card left if you constantly keep spamming slates. Slate. Probably gonna interchange between the two. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, we got the key of guidance. But yeah, just be warned by that, is that can potentially happen. It sucks when it happens, and when it does happen, you're gonna hate yourself for it. Trust me. I remember that when I first played Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, I usually had the mentality of saying, oh, slight. Hell, even the original, even in this one, I still end up doing slight. Don't do that. Just don't, because you can do a strategy for this game, or, you know, you can go ahead and just say, screw that noise, and just actually fight your opponents all willy-nilly. Now, the other reason as to why I'm not playing on Proud Mode is mainly because of the fact that, one, it doesn't matter. 2, I don't like some of the fights in this game, and also, I don't like how when I'm trying to, like, think and talk at the same time, I can get bashed in my face, which, you know, is relatively always fun. I always love getting hit in my face, because that's, like, the best crap I ever have in my... Ooh, I love it. I love it so much. Anyways, this is how you basically can move around the cards. You got your cards right here. You go ahead and you have your summons, which are also based around your magic. You can press the triangle button to basically move around the cards if you want. I recommend doing that whenever you want to go ahead and set up a good card combo going on. So yeah, we're gonna put 8 right there, and then we're gonna put 3 right there. Well, actually, I kind of want to move 3, to be honest. So let me move 3. Put it right there. Try to also organize your cards too, because it kind of looks ugly. You don't have to, but it just looks ugly in my opinion. Alright, so in the last battle before I cut, I did find myself a card that was like a premium. Premiums are different in a sense that they cost less card points, but they are also lost forever and they can't come back unless you use a potion or an elixir. So you can have your entire deck filled with premiums, but the thing is that premiums only show up once, which is kind of a problem. So you do want to be careful if you're going to be having a deck system that's like that. In fact, I don't really recommend even having that. Goofy Smash is new. It's not in the original game. The only reason why it's in this game is because of the reaction command, which is the thing that they start to use a lot in this game. And I accidentally hit the wrong box. Now, one of the things that you should probably know about Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories is that leveling up really does make a difference. Mind you, this is the case for a lot of video games that have RPG elements. Leveling up will really make a whole lot of difference when you're trying to actually win fights. Alrighty. Wait, come back. Thank you. It's a good thing that the magnet ability is a lot better. I was about to say a lot more better. Actually, no, that probably doesn't make any sense. There is a shadow there. I want to kill you. Boosh. Alright. And with this, we're going to use the sleeping card here. The sleeping card essentially ends up having all the Heartless asleep in a set room. And it's kind of cute seeing them asleep. And you can take advantage of that because they will be asleep during battle. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, we've forgotten you, dude. Like, seriously. Nice to meet you. I don't think I know you, but I still feel like you belong here. Pretty sure you all do. But yeah, like I said, only in this world, another world, and another world, and another world will have plot. Luckily enough, when you do get to play as Riku, you don't have to deal with this anymore. You only have to deal with it selective in a selective worlds, because funny enough, when you go through Riku's side of each world, they just cut straight to the boss, to be honest. Like, they cut through the fat, you do a bunch of things. Funny enough, Riku's gameplay is essentially like a speed run now that I think about it, because it cuts through the plot and it goes straight into the battles, which, you know, I'm gonna have a bit of a difficult time because I've never beaten Riku's story, mainly because of the fact of how some fights can be a bit difficult. But to be fair, it's better than how the original game did it, because the original game kind of did it a little bit dickish, where you did have to fight a particular boss fight right out the gate, mind you, and you had no sort of ability, you had no sort of way of dodging most of his attacks, which, like I said, is the problem with the original battle system. The original battle system, as much as it was easy to like hit a lot of the opponents, it kind of also made it easier for the opponents to hit you a lot easier as well. A lot easier. And now we got the key of truth. Alright, so let's finally get on with this. And let's showcase the Sleeping Heartless. I might as well. We're 18 minutes in, and we're about to go to our boss fight. As you can see here, you guys are all sleeping. Luckily enough, the door to the key of truth is right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, and if I level up, I will cut back. So be right back, guys. Alright, so I actually managed to level up, and I also managed to get the shadow enemy card. Wow, talk about luck. All right, let's actually equip the shadow enemy card, because the shadow enemy card actually increases the value of all cards by 1, which is really good. Now, enemy cards have almost the I want to say the highest CP requirements, and they're pretty freaking annoying, but they're also good in terms of helping you win fights. So anyways, back to me kicking the crap out of these guys. Also, I did showcase my level up as well, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, boop. Alright. And now we can finally get up to the boss. Even though, to be perfectly honest, it's kind of odd. I also moved the potion to the front, because one of the things I should mention, you kind of want to sometimes put the potion, you kind of want to sometimes use your potion first in a slight, before using any of the other cards, because what could possibly happen, and this usually can happen a lot, you should utilize your potions fast so that you can execute the ability before, you know, the game decides to go ahead and break you, and then the effect of the card is wasted. And it can happen a lot in this game. So I always recommend using potions first in a slight before using anything else, so that way you can get the effect of the potion or whatever out first, and then you can go ahead and worry about, you don't have to worry so much about your cards being broken. I utilize that tip, I utilize that a lot, because to be perfectly honest, the game loves to always break, because by the time you get through the first and second card, your opponent already ends up busting out a 0 or a number higher than your slate, and then the potion is useless, and then you are kind of out of a card. Even though it kind of, well, to be honest, potions never come back anyways, so they're automatically one-time only use. All right, so you're probably wondering, like, oh, we're gonna have new boss fights in this game? A little bit of yes and a little bit of no. The boss fights are a little bit the same like in Kingdom Hearts 1, but with different gimmicks involved. But it's time to fight the traditional boss that you fight in every single time you visit Traverse Town, the God Armor. Except for one game where you do visit Traverse Town again, and you don't really fight a guard armor. You fight something a little bit more annoying than the guard armor, but I will go into detail when we actually get to the game. Anywho, this is the God Armor. He fights the same way as his KH1 counterparts, and it's exactly as annoying as you think. Now, the enemy skill, the Shadow, ends up increasing my number value by 1. And it only ends up getting affected by whenever I reload. Funny enough, though, if you use a potion, that actually counts as a reload. Now, in this game, there are cards called gimmick cards, which ends up having like a Mickey head. Sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't. Also, half of the time you kind of do want to like try to break your opponents. Luckily enough, whenever it comes to gimmick cards, you don't really have to worry so much about the game, you know. Oh, this helps. Okay. Wow, that's kind of weird. Okay. Anyways, I'm actually going to heal myself. And then, you know, you ain't got no feet, so that's kind of good. Alright, your feet are almost gone, Mr. Man. But yeah, that's essentially this entire fight in a nutshell. You do want to always try to, almost every Disney fight that doesn't have other cards or means, sports gimmick cards. So such as like this fight here, since he doesn't have any cards in play, he doesn't have the capabilities of, he is suitable to the gimmick card. And you know, that's really it. Sometimes though, it can be a little bit hectic though, because you're more so trying to focus on not getting hit. But sometimes that ends up happening. You can't really do anything about it, which sucks. But that's kind of another problem with this game, is that you kind of have to be fast. You also have to strategize. You gotta be quick. You gotta be edging yourself on. If you don't, you get killed, and then you're sad, and then you don't want to play the game anymore. Fun fact, if you actually play this game off of the emulator, there is a chance that Sora will T-pose. But we're not playing off an emulator, so who cares? And that's the end of God Armor. And we get his enemy skill. Every boss that you kill will always give you an enemy skill. There's an exception to that, but that will come into play later. It's like there is an exception to that rule. No duh. I don't even understand how the hell this actually works, because if they're in our memories, obviously they're not going to remember us at all because it's kind of like a first visit. But well, I mean, to be honest, I kind of already know why the characters are speaking in this way anyways. But that's kind of a spoiler in the story, so yeah. Oh boy. I don't have all the answers, but I have to tell you something. Your memories created this town, right? Yes, that's what the guy who gave me the card said. If that's true, then this town is just a figment of your mind, and so are we. But you can't be a figment of if you're standing right there. The town is here too. But I'm not really me. I don't remember the things I should, and I sense things I shouldn't. Sora, beware your memories. Beware your memories. Beware! Beware! In a journey to come, you'll be faced with more illusions. Sometimes the shadows of your memory will deceive you, try to lead you astray. So, what exactly does that mean? Oh boy. I'm sorry, I'm just an illusion. The truth is out of my reach. Don't say stuff like that. That's just depressing. Stay strong, Sora. Don't let the illusion distract you from this, what's truly important. Well then. And then Aerith was dead, was killed by Sephiroth. I mean, what? Alright. So you're probably wondering, what's beyond this door? Nothing, because to be honest, we can't even go through that gold door down there, mainly because of the fact that it's, we won't be getting key or reward cards until we've gotten to the second half of the floors. So anyways, every single time you end up finishing off a world, you will always have the Conqueror Respite. And you always have to climb this very long-ass ladder. And then there's always a save point, and then you can basically continue through plot. But I'm going to actually end the episode here because we've been going on for way too goddamn long. Anyways, I'm glad that I managed to... Oh, another thing, I managed to figure out the stupid quality issue. I'm not going to even go into detail with that because it's embarrassing. But in the next episode of Kingdom Hearts Re.Chain of Memories, we'll be wondering... what else are we gonna go in and find in this castle? And what does Aerith mean about illusion? And are we gonna meet a very wonderful flaming boy who ends up saying, got it memorized? But anyways, I'll see you guys next time for the next episode of Kingdom Hearts Re.Chain of Memories. See yas!